Hello again, everybody. My name is John D Healy. I do a podcast that's called It's Good to Talk, and it sure is good to talk. People know me because I got this book out for my friend Tony McGurn. That's how it all started. That's his life story from 1941 up until recently. You can get it on Amazon. And it's also on audio. Sponsors are Liffey Van Lines, moving company here in New York City. They've been around for as long as Jeopardy, over 50 years. Let Liffey do the lifting if it comes to lifting. And remember, you can't buy experience. They've been around a long time and they know what they're about. Today I want to tell you what I've been up to since I spoke with Paddy McCarthy from the IrishExaminerUSA.com. Myself and Paddy had a good chat. Paddy has been very busy since. He's out and about attending various events. Speaking of events, I was invited yesterday to the Bronx, and it was the Bronx Week business lunch on. A business lunch for business people, and the Bronx people were very, very generous. I brought along two of my colleagues from Liffey, Kieran McAndrew and Paul McAvey. We were like the three wise men, well, wiser men there than us, of course. So, speaking so of, it was held in the headquarters of Anheuser-Busch, and I met the president or CEO of Anheuser-Busch. So happens that he indirectly knew my mother, and I always thought my mother was loyal to Guinness. I didn't know she had a connection with Anheuser-Busch. Her second cousin was Tom Doherty, and he was the president and CEO of Anheuser-Busch here in North America. And this new gentleman, Joe is his name, Joe Weskovich. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Joe is a lovely man, and he told me some stories from Tom Doherty. Barroom stories, you know. Well, they're clean. We won't discuss them here. So who else was there? Well, I met the president, of course. Lovely lady, eloquent lady. She spoke beautifully and clearly about everything good happening in the Bronx, and there's so much happening. Rob Walsh is the economic developer in the Bronx, along with his colleague Raphael and Luis Garcia. They're another three wise men, and they were more than welcome to us. There was lots of food and lots of drink. Of course, it's sponsored by Anheuser-Busch. We're there for that. There were three people honored at the event, three ladies, and I'll come to them in a moment as I give you more of the gossip. Now, who else did I bump into there? I bumped into Paul Finnegan, who is the president of the Irish Business Organization. And Paul asked me to remind you all, a big event coming up in October. IBO, like Liffey, will be 50 years in October. And they are having a gala event in October. IBO.org, if you want to get tickets, get them now before they're all sold. Mention my name for you got it at discount. Buy them now and they're $200. Leave it too longer and there'll be more. So IBO.org, Paul Finnegan, and Paul also does a podcast called Centerpiece. So that's Paul, and he was with another lady from Sligo, Susan, Vishia Conch Oscalia. So I spoke in Irish for a while with her. Interesting lady too. So what else went on at the Bronx luncheon? I'll get now to who got awards. Let me name them out for you. Three ladies. Mesha Porter is the president of the Bronx Community Foundation, and Lisa Soren is the president of the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, and Louise Zappa, probably pronounced her name wrong too, is the president of the South Bronx Development Corporation. Well, these three ladies clearly worked hard to get the honors that they got. And indeed, I may say that Vanessa L. Gibson and these three ladies are women of vision. And as I always say, if you can visualize it, you can realize it. And this is what they're about. There's so much happening in the Bronx, it's hard to keep up with it. There's events going on all week. There's a gala concert. They gave me this beautiful brochure. And if you Google ilovethebronx.com, you'll find out what's going on. There's a big concert going on next Sunday from 12 to 6. There's events every day. And it's not just all about the Bronx Zoo, but it's about the development that's going on and the help they're giving people to set up new businesses in the Bronx. And hence, that's why I was there with my colleagues, Kieran McAndrew and Paul McAvey, because Liffey has a property in the Bronx that's a 4-story building with space to be rented out to up-and-coming entrepreneurs. And the Liffey crew and the Bronx development community, including Robert Walsh, Luis Garcia and Raphael, they're all there to help you. I did leave out one guy. Let me get his name. His name is Nate. Very important guy. Can't leave this guy out. Nate Gray, and he is the Vice President for Development, and he's been involved in a lot of projects that are already completed in the Bronx. Now, I will add that Rob Walsh and maybe Nate Gray, and if this was like horse racing, I could tell you they all came out of the stable of, yes, Mike Bloomberg. They've all have worked for Mike Bloomberg for years and years and years and years, and they know the ropes and they know what they're about. They are helpful and they're generous with their time, and there's funds available for the right ideas. Make a business plan if you have an idea. If you need help with a business plan, you can always contact me, jhfornews@yahoo.com. So that was yesterday. It was a fun day. Kieran McAndrew and Paul McAvey and myself, we really enjoyed it. We met people. I even met the district attorney from the Bronx, and I gave her my business card. Of course I did. You never know when I get in a jam, you know. Now, who else did I meet? I met Adam Green, is the head of an organization called Rockin' the Boat. Now, Rockin' the Boat, what do they do? Rockin' the Boat is an organization that helps young children, teenagers, to be active and be involved. So basically they build boats, like small boats for going on the river, for fishing. They're encouraged to complete high school. They're encouraged with their education, a bit like what my mother used to do with me. Despite the fact that she was fond of Budweiser and fond of Guinness, she was still very much a big push for education. Because she said, if you can't be smart, you're not going to be anything. And when I had Jerry Coyle on here, remember Jerry Coyle? Jerry Coyle from Mayo wrote a book for his father. He said education and intuition and a bit of smartness will get you somewhere. So remember that. Now, what else is coming up? I do have Mick Melanphy coming back on. Remember Mick, the actor? He was in The Smuggler. He'll be on next week, and he will be talking about Bloomsday. It's a big day, a big event in Dublin, but it's celebrated here in New York too, in Bloom's Bar on 58th Street. Noel Muldoon is the manager in that bar there, and there's activities going on there, I guess, for a whole week. As a matter of fact, there's a statue of James Joyce outside the bar. I took my photograph there with James Joyce. I like to hang out with good people, always, if I can. Now, Mick Melanphy will be talking about Bloomsday, and in particular, I suppose, the not Finnegan's Wake, although James Joyce wrote Finnegan's Wake, but Ulysses. And damn, do I need help with Ulysses. That was a difficult read. I mean, those of you that studied Peg in high school, Peg was tough too. It was all Oscalia, but Peg wasn't an easy book to read, even in any language. I don't know why she made the Leaving Cert. As a matter of fact, my good friend back here should be on the curriculum in all high schools, here in America and in Ireland. A lot of education to be learned from Stonies, and that's how it all started. Now, if you like the podcast, hit subscribe, because that's what I need. I need more people to subscribe, and I'll be back to you with more news and updates and stories. Check out the Irish Examiner, usa.ie or .com. Sorry. So Paddy McCarthy was on last week, and check out his stories going back as well, way back to the music era and all that. We caught up on a lot of things. I will be bringing back the historian guy, Brian Layden. We talked about the Good Friday Agreement, and we're going to be back to talk about Irish presidents, starting with Douglas Hyde, first president of Ireland, buried in County Roscommon in a place called French Park, or to be more precise, the Sheep Walk. He's buried there, first president of Ireland. And then we'll come right up to the present president of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins. We're going to talk about all the presidents in between. I promise it won't be boring. Now I'm going to leave you and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Slán Abhaile, Sin Sin, Go Fóill.